Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. So I'm over here at Walden Landscaping. Alright, well I'd say this is a bit of a problem in how this thing was created. I've got a triple of hay that I'm going to be taking up to Lewistown, which is right in the center of the state, 280 miles, but I'm going to have to really do something creative to get it out of here. So I don't know if this was intentional by SCS or an oversight and not understanding that a triple isn't going to fit in that footprint really well. Because yes, if that was a spawn point for a load and it was a regular trailer, it'd be okay, but it's not. So I'm going to see if I can come in this way and get it. It's letting me hook up. The big question is, am I going to be able to pull it out? I mean, I think I will, because I don't think there's anything to the left of the load. But wow. Something new in Montana. Otherwise I wasn't planning on perhaps showing it all that early, but in any event, we're on our way to our 8th city of 12 for our World of Trucks event goal.
Get ready. Turn right.
So, I keep forgetting if I've actually talked about the details, but for those unfamiliar with World of Truck events, I don't know that I quite got into the point. So they have a personal achievement level, and then they have a community achievement level. And honestly, what reminded me about the event, I had forgotten to even go look when Montana came out, was the fact that we have hit the community goal, but to get the reward for the community goal, which is a grizzly bear paint job similar to the mountain ram or mountain goat paint job I had from Colorado that I have on my Freightliner. So I certainly would like that option. To get those available to you, you need to hit your personal achievement goal, which is what these 12 cities are. So basically, when you do your personal goal, you'll get some rewards for that, and I think, again, it's a mirror hanger, like I have the Hope Trucker in the Freightliner, but you then also get the community rewards as well. So that is what I'm doing. So basically, as a driver in ATS, you need to get your personal achievement to get anything. And then while you have, per se, less control over whether the community goal is reached, usually it is.
And then turn left.
Alright, got to turn on here, so we are going into new land, which is kind of what I figured, so that's why I figured I'd stick with you instead of stopping. I think most of this route is going to be new road, new exploration of Montana. And this is being 280 miles through a lot of curvy roads. We'll see, this may be the end of the Peterbilt for me, because if I struggle the whole way, I'm just not going to sit there and worry about it. So I've got 2.5 hours till I need to rest. There's been nothing nearby. I may have passed something while I was chatting about the World of Trucks thing. I honestly don't recall. But hopefully somewhere here we'll find somewhere to rest, because I'm going to need to do that. If I could have from MWM that you see on the map, mini map on the left there, I would have done that earlier, but there was nothing in that section of town that let me do anything. So the problem is, I know we end up getting off and heading north pretty quick, and it might be at this entrance already, but hopefully not, because then I just don't know how quickly we're going to hit a rest stop. But what I was saying, because there's going to be no sections cut out, I think, of this video, this may be a single run video, which I don't think I've had on this mini-series yet. So it's a little more typical of my gameplay Let's Plays, because, again, people are just tagging along for the gameplay, and I just try to say things and chat with folks as much as I can just as I go along. But no, it's possible, because this is no, it's just heading east. I thought it was turning and heading north. Like, maybe I won't get off the highway, which would be good, because the likelihood of finding a rest area on the highway is a lot higher. So the sign on the curve says 65 because the speed limit in theory is 70, but again, we're capped with World of Trucks jobs for fairness at 65 anyway, so I can't go over that speed. Good news is this haze appears to be light enough that right now we're moving along, although again we get a little bit of a hill here and we're already slowing down. So I don't really know Montana as far as the geography, or the topography, I guess, is probably what I'm looking for. So here we go. I don't know if now heading to the east as we get closer to the Great Plains, if we're now basically out of the mountains the rest of the way, and now this will start to just be hills and more plains, or not. White Sulphur Springs. It's like a interesting, just like a parking lot here for, I guess it's a pull off on that road. But I'm like, why are there cars parked? It's not like they're having commuters or something here. I can't imagine. I kind of forgot there was a road there until that UPS truck scared the bejesus out of me. Because on the mini-map it doesn't show, but the AI vehicles will come out of there. Alright, well, I'm going to need something soon. I was going to say, I think that's a railway bridge. It's not us. It seems like a very sharp turn for that railway. The Yellowstone River. Assume that is the one that truly goes to Yellowstone. Really beautiful place if you've never had an opportunity to visit. So we've got like a little bit of a junkyard over here, it looks like, to the left. And the scarier thing is I'm just not seeing any rest spots, and now we're kind of out in the country. So I may just be driving into penalty land here. Again, I have enough income to deal with this. It's not the end of the world. Obviously, the other challenge is I'd prefer to not be driving at night, because it'll be less fun to see anything. But at this point, I don't know that I have much of a choice. Because we have 207 miles, 4 hours, so in theory we'd get there at like 1 a.m. At this point it's pretty flat, it's scrub, so it looks like if we go into true darkness, I'm not going to be missing a lot. But I would like to find a rest stop, so please, please, please have one here, SCS. So once again, this is really the only road into the center of the state, so you would think that they would give you something, but obviously we're not seeing anything yet. Got 45 minutes till my time runs out, and then I basically, at most that I've seen it give me an hour where I don't have to, where I won't get a penalty. The good news is we're able to cook along here at 65 because it is flatter. So I'm covering miles quickly, which means obviously every second gets me closer to wherever the rest stop is ahead of me. So my other drivers doing their thing, building up their bank account, leveling up their skill set. A lot of good things. So let's see, we've got a little bit of a hill here. We're already down to 64, 63. Not sure if this is a real junction or just something on the map. Well, either way, it looks like we have to go to the right, so.
Keep right.
3 drivers in a row have turned things in and leveled up. It's a police car. Alright. I'm hoping, White Sulphur Springs being 10 miles away, that in a town we'll have some options for rest. But I'm also worried that there's a gas station, but I don't see a rest icon. Because yeah, even if I need to pull off the main road somewhere, I've got to rest. Down to 7 minutes now. So there's White Sulphur Springs.
Turn right.
100 Towers Inn, 7-Eleven, ATS Bank, pretty funny, American Truck Simulator Bank. There's someone out there at 10:30 at night. Tour bus. In theory, that would be a good sign, right? Alright, now I am out of time, so now I am in the grace period. We still have 150 miles till we get there. A couple bikers out there at the bar. Yeah, this is not looking good. I think we've literally traversed the town, and now we'll be continuing on to 89, but with no rest options. So if I needed fuel, I would have been okay, but
Keep left and then turn left.
so I am sorry that I couldn't get that to work out, but
Turn left.
I didn't really think we would get into such a dearth of rest stops, as SCS is usually pretty good about not making things unplayable from the rest standpoint. Alright, so we've got a bit of curviness coming up here. From what I can see, it's just a lot of hills that we're going around. I don't think we're heading into any significant mountains. Looks like we got a shed up there on the right. So yeah, it's not that we can't see things, but it's certainly a lot less visibility than one would like. And the other problem now is when I start resting this late, it just kind of pushes everything off. I mean, there we go. Now we've got our sleeping violation. The Peterbilt is struggling. You know, and we're going to hit that $200 every little bit, so please, where is one? This is crazy. I just need to pull off somewhere. Oh, doesn't bode well, because usually when they do this, it's so the trucks can move over to the right and everybody can pass, because we're going to be climbing and we're going to slow down more. So let's see, right lane ends, so I guess this was it. Well, that was the hill. So there's the Kings Hill camp, so I guess this is Kings Hill. There's a truck there, but no icon for resting. Alright, we're going downhill, so at least we'll be able to get to speed. So that is a good thing. Because, yeah, I do have, as you can see, I've got an 18-speed gearbox in these things for my drivers. But the engine's just not, you know, as strong. Which for the drivers out here might not be the best thing, because then they're dealing with this whenever they're hauling. But it's always a trade-off between fuel economy and other things. Alright, we're at 100 miles now. Obviously haven't gotten flagged again, but I'm sure it's coming. Yeah, I'm just really surprised that nowhere here along 89 do they have any rest stops. So, kind of like in real life, this would be one of those things you'd have to learn if this was somewhere that you went as a trucker, is, aha, finally, rest area, way station. I am getting tired. Alright, well, I can bypass the way station at least, but we're gonna go in and rest. And maybe we can get there before we get hit again, but it's always my luck. I get it, like, as I'm pulling into the parking spot. I got all these cars in front of me waiting to turn.
Turn right.
Nope, I'm gonna go straight. Go into that peanut. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like it's the shape of a peanut. Maybe I'm crazy. I think it's a peanut. Just double check as we go across, because we're not exactly the fastest. Interesting that it points kind of the opposite way to the rest area and the way station. They maybe seem to have those mixed up. I don't know. Alright, well, I'm just going to stop, because that's how I will have a problem. But, you know, as you can see, now it's 10:30. You know, I can go 13 hours, so in theory I can go to 11, but I won't, because A, I'm going to be there in an hour and a half, but, you know, my goal is to have visibility out there, because yes, while we know we have some hills, like, I think what we're not seeing is, like, those rock outcroppings and stuff at night, because it's dark and we can't see them. So let's see, I think we go left. Guess I'll have to look at the map. Yes, we go left. Just trying to really get my bearings and make sure. Alright, nobody coming from that direction. Alright, Wiley Sanders, I am not going to turn around you, because that's just an accident waiting to happen, especially with a triple. Just making sure nobody's suddenly barreling down the road. I tend to have that problem too. Okay, Lewiston 66. We gotta go 79, so we're going past Lewiston.
Go straight on.
As typically happens overnight, I've got lots of drivers that have finished. I mean, it's overnight and early morning. So, but yeah, I mean, it's nice, much nicer in the daylight. Like, obviously, again, those haystacks, like, all that stuff is really hard to see at night. Even these bridges nearby, which again, I think is just a rail line that we have paralleling the road, which is pretty common out west. I think some of it is just the practicality too, like if there's a problem, there's a road and it's easily accessible, versus it's just going through somewhere. No, there's a train. I know I've seen there's mods out there to, like, make the trains longer, but I mean, that's nice, but you don't see them that often. And then of course it's probably a double-edged sword, just like the extended traffic light timing. Like, many times it helps, because alright, the light stays green, but then if you get there right as it turns red, you're waiting. So similarly, like now, yeah, the long train would be cool. But if I suddenly hit a long train at a crossing, not so cool. Okay, it's on that side. I'm like, I see a lot of lights flashing. Alright. Some more rocks. But yeah, definitely, obviously, latter part of the state, but still, really nice rolling. Again, Montana's known as Big Sky Country. I think this is exactly why. Out here, places like Lewistown. And it's interesting because there's a Lewistown, Idaho, nearby. So I had a lot of loads going to Lewistown, not Lewistown. And once again, it's pretty clear because the state's in the parentheses afterwards, so I could see it was ID instead of MT, but I was like, wait, are they both the same name? But no, one is Lewistown, the other one is Lewistown. Oh, see, and here, now I immediately have another rest area. Like, it's just that southern end of 89 is clearly a little bit of a rest area desert. Yeah, it's interesting that we keep seeing gallon oil and stuff, because I'm sure that's been replaced by real companies, but I wonder if, because of the new state, like they have to do some kind of an update to pick it up in the mods. I didn't realize that. I thought it was just a one-for-one replacement, like whenever gallon oil was present, whatever real company replaces gallon oil just would show up. But obviously, that's not the case. Sorry, I'm being bad. I'm driving distractedly. Clicking on something else. Another machine I've got. There we go. Lewistown. So, central Montana. Maybe we got a viewpoint. Or maybe it's just a recruitment center or something. I mean, if it's a viewpoint, I think we'll see it from here. We have. I do want to share those with folks, because that's obviously part of it. It looks like there's a big enough space there to turn around. I'm hoping that's the case. Yeah, that's alright. That'll work, because the viewpoint's right up here. And then we've got this large turnaround point. So this may just be a viewpoint for Lewistown, or maybe there's just something really cool here in central Montana. So let's see. Yep, it's Lewistown, so it's the big Kiewit. I keep calling it Kiewit, but I don't know if it's Kiewit. Yeah, we had passed that sign coming in, I believe, because we're right over there. You can see our hay off to the right. So, and I'm sure they model those accurately over what's there. I've heard folks who live in Montana saying they're impressed with how accurately they recreated some of these areas. So, right, church, always pretty common. Oh, there's some local residents doing their thing. 99-cent hamburgers. You don't see that a lot anymore. But yeah, this isn't that small of a town, clearly. I'm assuming that's the town hall. So maybe it's the county seat. Might be the courthouse. Not sure. Don't know if we'll end up going by it. Alright, I'm getting a clearer view of that. There you go, county court. You can kind of make it out on the arch over the doorway. Looks like Lewis County Courthouse, I think is what it says. And there's the public library. Look at that. Some real pretty seating places, and you can walk to get your 99-cent burger and bring it back and eat out on the terrace. Ah, dogs. That's the church we saw from the other direction. I think it's a church. Looks like a cross up on top there. Alright. Well, that was a fun little segue. We can see planes landing out there, so there's another airport, which would obviously make sense out here.
Make a U-turn.
Alright.
Turn left.
So the nice thing is triples are pretty maneuverable.
Get
Can't,
ready to turn right.
can't back them up, but alright. So we still have 13 miles, so I think we're going to go out of town, but we may then go by all those places we saw. In-N-Out Burger. Are those really in Montana? I know they're a big thing in California, but... maybe SCS just really likes them.
Right, and then continue straight on.
So, there's the church we saw.
Go straight on.
Obviously, we've just got to head straight through town here, so I'm sure we're going to pass pretty much everything we saw.
Keep
So,
right, and
there
then
are the
continue
burgers.
straight on.
Obviously, the library will probably be down here.
Go
I'm
straight on.
imagining, yep, there it is. What we haven't seen yet is
Right,
the
and then
courthouse,
continue straight on.
but I'm sure that's down here in the business district
Go
somewhere.
straight on.
Light turning. So, as I said, now with the extended traffic light,
And then continue straight
we
on.
will be waiting for a bit. So, Cascadian Farms
Go
here.
straight on.
So, 3rd Avenue. I'm sure the courthouse is on Main Street. We may not see it. It may be back over our shoulder or something, but yeah, it's telling me a minute, but I'm sure with traffic lights and such, it's going to take longer than that. Because we'll see if we have to turn left here at 191 or if we continue straight. Ah, news truck. Alright, here we go. But that next light is red. Ah, small town cinemas. The Jewel.
Keep left, and then turn left.
Alright, so we are turning left here.
Turn left.
And we may be going when we leave town, depending on where we're headed. We may be heading out the other way and be able to explore what's down that road. So, sadly, another staple of small towns, the quick loan, or the check cashing store, which is a way people get themselves in a lot of financial trouble. Usually folks that are low income tend to use those, and they charge really, really high interest rates to loan you your own money.
Right, and then
Not necessarily, quick loans might be a true loan, but the check cashing is basically, hey, you don't have to wait. We'll give you your money before you're, and then we deposit your check. But for that privilege, they charge you a hefty fee. And there you go, bucks now. It's another
keep
one.
right, and then turn
But
left.
sadly, for a lot of folks in towns like this, that's sometimes the only way they can determine how to make ends meet. Is they're living paycheck to paycheck. Oh, we are going to a form of Cascadian Farms. There's just multiple of them here.
Go straight on.
So this is one of them. Looks like their store maybe or something. There's a lot of hay storage there. So maybe this is the farm proper. We're going to give some hay to some animals. Maybe they've got cows and dairy or something. I guess we'll see what we've got.
Keep left, and then turn left.
Alright. Hanover's not a city I've seen that was on the map. So they got hay across the street, but they're having us bring them some, so.
Get ready to turn left.
But yeah, this looks very much like barns and
Turn left.
other things, so. It looks like they were just going to add the hay to these giant stacks of hay. Wow. But they do have cattle. Looks like they're stacked right in the field with the cattle. How do the cattle just not walk up to them and eat them? I don't know, maybe they do, but just doesn't seem like the best way to store things if you want to control it a little bit. I don't know if cows would like overeat. Like if they get too much food, would they just die because they overate?
Here we are.
But
Safe
yeah,
and sound.
there you go. It's the Daily Dairy Farm. Sorry, I didn't see the parking spot. I almost went too far where I would have had a problem. I may still have a problem, but hopefully not. Alright, see you for the next one.